What's up, guys? It's been a while. I know, right? It's been, a couple weeks since I've posted, almost a month. That's my fault. I've been a lazy shit. There is no excuses for this. I have just been lazy, and this is actually going to tie into this video. Being lazy fucking sucks, and it's your fault. It's my fault. And I made a video about what I did. I think it was the beginning of this month or honestly last month, my 38-mile walk. I don't even know if maybe it was the beginning of September or the last week of August. I don't even fucking know. That's how long it's been. But I did a long ass walk and I made a video about it, and then I didn't like it, deleted it, and never came back to it. And then here I am doing nothing, just sitting on my ass doing nothing. Well, I have been getting guests for the podcast, which I'd like to mention too. I have one, Jerry Cooney, boxing legend, coming on this Wednesday. Today is Monday, so 2 days coming on. It's going to be fucking awesome. And then October 6th, we have Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong coming on the show. No idea how I got that man. Jerry Cooney, I can understand because I met him in real life and I have people who knew him. Tommy Chong, I just kind of sent an email out there and his manager was like, yeah, sure. So, yeah, I guess people like the show. That's just kind of motivating me. But, yeah, back on being a lazy shit. Getting in your own head is, just being human, right? No matter what, at some point in your life, you're going to be doing something, and that little voice in the back of your head is going to start creeping up, and it's going to want to sink back into being comfortable. It's going to want to sink back into safety and not go out there and do things that will change your life. And I'd like to say that we as humans don't like change unless it betters us. Well, actually, no. I'm gonna walk back on that. I have this because I fear change a lot. I have a lot of fear in change, but I also need to change in order to progress in my life because you're really just jumping into a void that you don't know what's going to happen. You have no idea what's going to happen when you take that step out the door every morning. And I had that fear. I have that fear a lot with a lot of the things I do in life. It doesn't come across that way when I talk to people, but I really do have that anxiety in me, especially when I went on this walk. I went on a 38-mile walk for charity I think it was September, the first week of September. I think so. It was so long ago at this point. But I went out there and did this walk for charity because it started out as a random walk. I just wanted to walk from my house to my gym just to tell myself that I could do it. Another one of those conflicting voices saying, you can do it. No, you fucking can't. And I just wanted to fight all that and just say, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And then I found out about the 13 servicemen and women who unfortunately passed away in the Afghanistan airport attacks. Broke my heart. And then hearing about how young they were, they were people my age and younger. And then I think there were one or two that were older than me. But that's terrifying. That's so sad to me that shit happens, So I felt that I could make this walk not about me and make it about them, right? So I actually have the charity up. I'm going to link it in the bio or the description of this video. I called it the Valhalla Walk. A lot of military men that I know, and I think that it's a common thing they say is when somebody passes away in the military, they say till Valhalla, where the warriors go after they die. So I called this the Valhalla Walk in honor of the fallen warriors. When I tell you that walk was horrible, it was fucking terrible. I may sound like a bitch because I honestly, when I talk about it, I kind of think like, damn, dude, it was just a walk. It really was just a walk. My trainer's friend went on one of those Ironman marathons, which is like 1 million fucking miles of swimming, biking, and jogging. Like, dude, that is some man shit right there. All I did was keep a steady pace with a walking stick. And I quit when there was 5 miles left. But thankfully, my trainer, whose gym I was going to, I literally told him, I said, I had my dad pick me up. I was 5 miles away. I couldn't walk anymore. I was throwing up. My head was I felt like I was on fire. My body was convulsing. I couldn't make my body stop cramping. It was the weirdest feeling. I have done a lot of physical shit in my life, but that was so weird that my body just quit. It just quit. It was like, I'm done. My mind was there up until my body just shut down. And you know when people usually have that like decision, you can either keep going and your mind will tell your body shut the fuck up and move, or your mind will slowly start to just be like, okay, yeah, we need to stop or we're going to die. But you're not going to die. You're not. It's just your mind playing tricks on you. That's just what it is. So my dad picks me up because he was following behind me so cars didn't hit me. My dad picks me up in the truck, drives me to the gym so I could at least go to the gym and be like, hey, I didn't make it, but at least I can, wave the Valhalla shirt that I have up and be like, hey, look, I'm here. My trainer looked at me and I was expecting, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be full honesty here. I was feeling sorry for myself like such a pussy. I felt defeated. And in my head, in that moment, and I don't like thinking like this and I don't like admitting this, but in that moment, I was expecting Mike to be like, hey, you made 30 miles or 33 miles. Congratulations. That's, you know what? It's all right. It's not that big a deal, whatever. No. That motherfucker looked me dead in the eyes and he said that, stop being a bitch. Stop being a bitch, bro. It's not about you. It's not. He said the only thing that's about you in this walk is you versus you mentally. Because at the end of the day, the only way you're going to get this walk done is not by your dad, not by me, not by anybody. It's going to be you getting your ass out there and fucking walking it. So I looked at him. I was fucking depressed. And I was like, fuck. And he's like, if I were you, you know what I would do? I'm like, what? He said, have your fucking dad pick you up again, drop you off where you were, and you walk the fuck back. And at this point, I have been walking for about 14 hours because I was, I'm telling you, my hips were hurting, my knees were hurting. I had calluses on my, or I had what are they called? Come on, man, I can't think of them. Blisters. I have blisters on my foot this big, and they were bubbles. So when I took a step, they squished. I was nauseated, and I'm sitting there. And after he said it, and he explained to me, he said, this isn't about you. This is about the men and women who you're donating the money to. So you need to either stop being a bitch or admit you're a bitch. And he knew I wouldn't take the other. He knew I wouldn't take the other option. He knew exactly what I would do. And that's why I love Mike. Mike has always been there for me. He's always pushed me past my anxiety, past that fear of like passing out, past that fear, past that wall that's like right in front of you that you need to get over. He's been there to push me through. I remember a quick little story off that. When I was a kid, I was probably about, 11, 12 years old. I was doing box jumps. And I love box jumps. Box jumps were awesome. But then we moved on to like the big boy box jumps, the ones that were like, up to your chest when you were like, 11, 12. You were up to your chest, which you really need to get some lift. And there's nothing there to catch you. You would just go. If you fell, you fell. I was terrified. I would shake before I would get to the box. I would sit there and I would move and I'd kind of like move my arms like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I would stop and then I'd stop and then I'd stop. And I remember Mike, I remember this. I don't know if you'll remember this, but he looked at me and he said, stop, turn off your brain. And I'm like, why, what the fuck does that even mean? He said, stop, don't think, just do it. I cleared my mind and I shut it off, just like he said. Next thing you know, I'm on the box. Same thing applies to this walk. When I got to mile probably 20, that's when the voice in my head started to get a little louder about, this hurts. Dude, you made 20 miles. Come on, man. Not a lot of people can walk 20 miles. Mile 25, bro. Your legs are hurting. Come on, man. They're starting to fucking kill. What are you doing here? You're going to start doing damage. Then I hit mile 27, and then I got a police escort. And I'm like, all right. The other side of me is thinking, all right, you can't bitch out when there are people around you. You know that, right? You can't bitch out when there are people around you. So I started picking up the pace. Then when I hit mile like 31, the police escort left. I didn't want any more because, I felt bad for holding up people. So, I sat on the ground and waited for my dad to come by. And my dad was like, all right, you have two options. You can either quit or you can keep going. I'm like, obviously, in my head, I'm like, obviously, those are the only two fucking options. I get it, Dad. And I was pissed, but I was more pissed because I was more disappointed in myself. So I got up, started walking, and then I quit, like I said, and then we're back at Mike's, and then we went through that whole process. And then after Mike told me to go back on the road, my dad dropped me off. And I realized that it wasn't that far away. I was only 4 or 5 miles away. It would only take me, if I kept a steady pace, like an hour and a half. So when I got dropped off, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how bad I was beaten mentally to not see that I was this fucking close. Because when you hear 5 miles, I don't care who you are, that does sound pretty far when you're walking. But like, when you're walking 38 miles, 5 miles is pretty much dick. So I just couldn't believe how broken I was mentally before then. And I remember my dad, before when he picked me up, I started bawling. I was like just so mentally drained. I felt like such a pussy. I was like, dude, you're really going to quit on a walk for charity? There are people who do this like 10 times the intensity of what you do. Like, really, bro? And I was like, damn, I'm a bitch. You know, got the mics. He did the whole thing. And then I got dropped off, like I said, and then I started walking back. It took me an hour and a half to finish the 5 or the 4 or 5. Oh, was it 3 or 4 miles? I don't know if it was 5. I think it was 3 or 4. An hour and a half. And I'm telling you, it was like inch by inch, the steps. Everything hurt. My body ached. I was tired. I threw up like 4 or 5 times. I just wanted to go home and sleep. Everything was painful. But I just kept going. I kept walking, man. I kept going and going and going. And next thing you know, I'm up the hill. And then I'm at the gym. And then when I got there, it was pitch black outside and Mike wasn't there. Mike wasn't waiting for me. Not gonna lie to you, I was expecting him to be waiting there for me. And I was a little sad. You know, I got there. I was a little disappointed because the perfectionist in me is like, well, you technically quit and then you went back. But I was at least, all right, I made it. But I was a little depressed Mike wasn't there. And, you know, I got not offended, but I was like, damn, you know, maybe Mike didn't really care about this. But that was just another bitch in me talking. Because then Mike posts something about me. Mike posts on his Instagram, his personal Instagram. Mike's a great guy because he posts this. Mike said, sometimes mental health is a legitimate reason for setbacks. Sometimes it's a cover-up and an excuse we use when we want to behave like a cunt. Don't blur the line between having depression and anxiety and being a cunt. This motherfucker walked 38 miles yesterday from his house to my gym to honor fallen soldiers. He almost let his anxiety win, but he didn't give in. When he showed up to the gym at 10 p.m., I wasn't there, and he just had to catch a ride home. Why wasn't I there? Because it wasn't about me. It was him versus him. My gym was an arbitrary destination. From his house to the gym was the battle. Congratulations from me are bullshit. When he wanted to quit, I told him, fuck you, you fucking cunt. If it was this easy, everybody would do it. Why would you do this? For attention? Finish what you fucking started. And he did. Congrats, Danny. Continue to grow and make yourself proud. Now, when I read that, my little heart felt very happy. And it made me feel motivated to do things to disprove myself. What do I mean by that? I feel like I have a habit of wanting to do great things and then saying I want to do great things and then just ignoring them. And one of the walk was a big thing because I've told people I want to do this walk like a year ago. I'm like, I want to do this walk. And I kept saying it. And I'm like, wow, I just keep fucking saying this. Why am I not doing it? And then one day I just said, you know what? Let's stop being a bitch and let's do it. And I want to keep doing things like that. And I think a lot of people should treat activities like that. Don't just talk about it. If you're going to do it, fucking do it. And when you do it, do it. Don't just quit. Don't quit halfway. Don't quit a mile towards the end. I don't care if it's a minute left on your 17-hour bike ride. Finish the minute because you'll feel great. If you quit even by a second, you will feel like a bitch and everything sucks. It does. It really does. Because when I quit, I hated it. I hated everything. I just didn't, all of those miles that I walked, all those donations I raised, it felt like nothing. I was like, you failed. You fucking failed. And if I didn't go back and do it, I would have felt like that the entire time. I would still feel like that today. So if I were to say anything about people setting goals, if you have the actual intent on doing it, just fucking do it, guy. Just do it. Just do it. And don't let anything or anyone get in your way. Don't let yourself especially, because that is the energy that's going to take you down. That's the thought. Those are the thoughts that are going to take you down, your own. The ones that are there where it's like, it's painful, man. Why are you walking? Take off the backpack, man. It's heavy. Dude, just, you haven't eaten today. You haven't drank enough water. You could pass out. At the end of the day, if I pass out, I'll wake up. I won't die. That was one of the things Mike told me too. He's like, you're not going to die. It's just a you versus you battle. How long can you keep going? And another person who's all about that, I'm sure most of you guys know who he is David Goggins. I read his book. The guy was a fucking monster. The guy ran 100-mile, what do they call, ultra run in like 2 days notice. Like, what the fuck was I doing compared to that? If that guy can do that, I don't even give a fuck that he's a Navy SEAL. Dude, I don't care what kind of training you have. To run 100 miles on 2 days notice, your balls are huge. Like, it makes no fucking sense how he could do that. And then that's what gave me motivation. It's like, yo, okay, you can do this. Just, you can do it. Stop being a bitch, man. You know what? Gathered myself. And I finished. I can't say how good I feel about it. I raised over $3,000 for the families. You know, to some that may not sound like a lot compared to other charities, but I'm proud of every single cent, and I'm so happy that people donated. Again, I don't know if I said this in the beginning of the video because I've recorded this twice, but if you guys want, I'm going to link the charity in the description of this video. I think I'm going to close it this Friday. So that will be October 1st is when the charity will close. Oh my God, it's almost October. But yeah, just wanted to come on here and tell you guys about that story, about my walk and the people who supported me. You know, thank you, Mike Guadango. If you guys want an awesome podcast with two of the coolest guys I've ever met, the Mike and Brooker show is fucking awesome. I'll also link that in the description. Thank you to my parents. Mom, I know you were nervous for me. I know that you wanted me to stop because you're my mom. You didn't want me getting hurt. Dad, thank you for pushing me just as hard. Thank you for, driving out during work and making sure that I was hydrated and telling me that he didn't force me to do it. He just said, if you want to do this, do it. He didn't say, do this, you pussy, blah, 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 blah. He took a different approach and he said, listen, he said the same thing kind of like what Mike said. He said, it's you versus you. Do you want to do this or not? Like, how bad do you want it? And he knew I wanted to do it. So thank you, Dad. I really appreciate that. Thank you. My girlfriend, Steph, thank you for taking time out of your day. You came out and gave me water. You let me use your car to put ice on my feet. You're one of my number one supporters, so what else can I say? Everybody else, thank you so much. If I didn't mention you, just know that I am really grateful for all the help and support that I received. And thank you to everybody who donated and to all future donations. Just know that all of these proceeds will be going to the families affected by the Afghanistan airport attacks. And I'll make sure that we're making sure that the money is getting to each of the families. So, yeah. Thank you guys all again. Remember, there will be a podcast this Wednesday, which will be September 29th with Jerry Cooney. But yeah, besides that, thank you guys for watching the show. I'll catch you later. Wait. We got one more person to thank. The man, the myth, the legend, Mike Guadango. Thank you, Mike, for always being there for me. Thank you for telling me that I was a bitch and that I had to fucking go finish the walk. Without you, I wouldn't have told my dad, I got to be dropped off. I need to finish this walk. And my dad was right there supporting you through it. Trust me. Thank you so much for helping me avoid the depression, the anger, the sadness that I would have felt from not finishing what I started. You've done this so many times for me in my life. And the Instagram post, even when I read it now, gives me such a feeling of like, I can do anything. I can make myself proud. I can make everybody proud. I can do great things. So, Mike, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I know you'll always be there for me.